Everyone knows how important it is to practice scales, but most beginners practice them the wrong way. After teaching hundreds of students, I've seen every possible mistake, some of which you're probably making right now. Today, I will show you not only the most important scales in every tonality, but how to practice them the right way, so that you can play the violin confidently. And first, you need to understand what's the goal of scales. Scales are just common patterns that you find in every single music piece. And the goal here is to automate those common patterns so that when you then take one of your favorite pieces, you can play it directly without wasting hours practicing the same things. And for that reason, you need to automate the right things by practicing scale the right way. So the first scale that we will see today is the C major scales on the complete first position. Hear how it sounds. The first thing you should always do is to check what is the finger pattern for this scale. A finger pattern is just how will you put your finger on the string, in which combination of finger. So here for this C major scale, it will look like that. On the G string, you will have the second and the third finger together. On the D string, the first and the second. A string, the same. And on the E string, all four fingers spread out evenly. Then your next goal will be to calibrate each note. What it means is that before you start automating, you want to be sure that you are playing the right note with 100% perfect pitch. For that, you will first repeat every single note without tempo, just to be sure you are playing the right note. Let's say my A, I want to be sure that's the right A, that it's not too low or too high. I have different ways to know this. So the first thing is that I could just repeat a few times G and A and try to have this interval. The second thing I could do is just to compare my A with an open string. The third thing I should do is to check the resonance. That means I play my A and then I lift my bow. And I just listen how long the tone continues to sound. Let me show you again. And now a little bit lower. Do you hear how much longer the tone stay? It means the intonation was better. And of course, you should listen or practice with slow recordings of your exercises. That's, for example, what I do with my students in the Violinacademy. Then, after you calibrate every note, it's time for automation. And here, I want really to make the point that the problem with most people is that they go directly to the automation part without first calibrating the notes, and because of that, they are just automating the wrong note. So really take your time on the calibration phase. It could take half your time. So, in the automation part, the goal is just to automate the movement starting from very slow to very fast by increasing the speed gradually. And here what you need to do first is to define your tempo and the goals. For the goals, this, for example, is the exercises that I give my students by the level 6. And the goal is to play them tempo 60 in 8 notes. And if you are a little bit less advanced, you should start first with one string or one octave basic exercises, but the principle will be the same that I will show you right now. So those are, for example, one string exercise. It's the same on only one string. And this is the same, but on one octave. And now we learn these scales together step by step with one very important method from the Violin Pyramid Method, and that's the acceleration method that you can see here. And we are right now here. We want to automate and start with half note. That means I will just play it very slowly like that. And so on, with a very regular sound, very stable. After I done that, you go to the next step. That's to play them in quarter note. That means this. And very important is to stay the whole time exactly in the same tempo. Then what you want to do is to start with the two fast pause method. So here what we'll do is this. You will play two notes very fast and then make a pause. 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 Here the goal is to always 2 notes at a time. And if something is not nice, yeah, you need to repeat it. Now I repeat. I should be able to play each transition 3 times in a row perfectly. Then you do the same with an 1 note offset. So what it means is that the second version is the same, but you play the first note alone and then you start doing 2 notes fast. Pause, pause, and so on. Then on the next step we want to play it in 8th note, like you can see here at the top. And in F note it will sound like that. And then we'll continue with the same system, playing this time 3 notes very fast. That means like this. Pause, pause, and the same principle. Then you can do the same, 1 offset, and then you play it in triplet. In triplet it's just that I make 3 notes per beat. And then I repeat the same with 4 fast, pause, 4 fast, pause, and set, and then I go till then in 16th note, like you can see here. And by using this system, I increase the speed very gradually. And for that reason, what you could do is to use this second part. Here we'll play always 1 beat plus the transitions and 2, 4, 8. Here how it looks like, what I mean. This is 1 beat, okay, plus transition to next one. And I will repeat only that a few times until it's really safe. Then I will play the next one. Same thing. And by the way, you want to always use the same fingering. Here, for example, the fingering, I forgot to show it at the beginning. It's always when you go up to use an open string and then you go down to use the 4th finger. That's very standard and I would really advise you to always do that. Then when you have mastered 1 beat plus transition, you go to 2 beats plus transition, the same. One more time. And so on, doing later 4 beats plus transition and then 8 beats. So this was how to practice step by step. Now we will see how to automate the right thing. And by the way, if you're an adult and you want to learn to play the violin beautifully, book a free consultation call below. So this second part is very important because of course you could just follow my system, you know, that's what most people do actually. And the problem is that they automate the wrong thing because they are not doing the movement, not placing the hands, not doing the right thing with the fingers. And that's actually more important than what we just saw. So here the first thing is that you want to move only the fingers on each string. That means you should keep the same position the whole way, and then when you play on one string, only the finger should move from here. And what you should not see is moving this, like to get the 4th finger, to move the whole arm, or to move in this direction, or to move the finger like that. You really want to move only the finger down and up. That's all. Then, very important, you want to keep the 4th finger above the string. Most beginners play like that, that's not good. Keep the finger above the string so that you can play them directly at any time. Then the next thing is that you want to do the string change with the elbow only and not with the fingers. That means I want to move like that from one string to another. G strings, D strings, A string, E strings. And what I see instead most people do is that they will do that like this, with the hand or the finger, and because of that they are very bad here hand position. Then the next point is articulation versus pressure. Most people press the string way too hard. What you want to do is to articulate the finger firmly. That means that you will give some impulse and move the finger very quickly down. And then move it very quickly up. Okay, it means it's a fast movement, but when I'm on the string, I don't press the string. Then the next thing is that you want to let the finger on the string. That means that when I'm playing up, I want to let all previous fingers on the strings. Okay, don't leave the fingers, let them. Why? Because you could need them later on, and it stabilizes the hand. Then one thing that not a lot of people knows about is that you should always touch the string on the right side. What I see a lot of people do is that they think they should touch only one string. So they play on the D string and they think that their fingers should touch only the D string. And because of that, they take some very strange position with the hand. Most of the time, you don't need to touch only one string. You will always touch a second string. There is exception, but most of the time, 99% of the time, 100% for a beginner, you will always touch a second string. And to make it easy, you should just touch the string on the right side. That means that when I'm playing on the D string, I'm touching the A strings with my fingers. That's okay. And now, of course, there is 5 things you should really monitor when you are practicing your scales to know if you are doing the right thing or if something is wrong. Those are the 5 pillars of the Violin Pyramid Method. Your sound quality, does the tone sound good with the bow? The intonation, are you playing the right note? The rhythm, are you really playing the right rhythm? 8th note or quarter note, are they really proportional? The tempo, are you really staying in the same tempo the whole time? And musicality, yeah, it's not because it's a scale that it should sound like, boring thing. You can make a very beautiful string. Okay, try to phrase it. You could make a crescendo when you go up, the crescendo you go down. Make anything, just that it doesn't sound boring, but sound like you were singing. Now, one of the most common mistakes is that most people practice only common scales like the one we saw first. But it's only one kind of scales and you really need to practice all kind of scales. The second one, more important, are scale of thirds. You can see it here. And basically how it works is that you play 2 notes up, 1 note down, 2 up, 1 down. And here there is 2 things actually that you should really see, but first let me play it for you. Here, basically there is 2 things that you really need to do differently. The first one is that every time when you go a third up, you should put both fingers together on the screen. Like you can see here, I wrote it with those notes. When I play my F, I want to put the first finger at the same time on the string together. Here the same, when I put the third finger, I want to put the second finger at the same time. And here I want to put the third finger with the fourth finger together. Why? Because we need it directly after. Okay, we play D, F, and then we need the E. So it's way more efficient to put it together on the string. The same here, and the same every time. One other difficulty, not only for the scale of third, but for every exercise, are the change of string. Here what you want to do is to keep the bow very near to the next string. That means instead of playing the G string here, and then the D string here, you want to play the G string near to the D string, and the D string next to the G string. Okay, and then by each crossing, coming very near to the next string, so that you have only very small string crossing with the bow. The next very important exercises, probably some of the most important, are arpeggio, like you can see here. Let me play them for you one time. So, really arpeggios are cool too because they sound way more interesting than anything else. But, of course, they are more difficult, and here the difficulty really is in the string crossing with the left hand. Here you need to understand what is the best way to do a string crossing with the left hand. And basically, there is only two good possibilities. The first one is that it's always the easiest one when you go up, is to put the finger on the string in advance. That means that when I'm playing my C, I'm already putting my E flat on the string. I don't wait, but the problem most beginners do is that they put the first finger on the string when they need to play the first finger. That's wrong. You really need to understand the concept of musical timing versus technical timing. That's Galamian was the first one to tell it like that, and that's a very important one. So, musical timing, my C is here, and then my E here. But technical timing, I put the first finger on the string already here, before I need to play it. Okay? Here it's the same thing with the second finger. I put it directly on the string before I need it. Basically directly after I started playing the third finger. And here it will be the same. So then the second thing is that when you go especially down, most of the time the easiest thing will be to let the previous finger on the string as an anchor point. So first here I will play my E flat again directly there, so I don't want to lift my finger. And here, for example, because I let the fourth finger on the string and I need to play a G, I will need to put the fourth finger on the string in a way that I don't touch the E string, okay? But I could touch, for example, the D string, the string on my left, that would be okay. I just need to not touch the E string, so that it works. Then when I come down, okay, I want here, for example, from C to G, what most people do is that they do it like that. They lift one finger and put the next one on the string. Instead, you want to let the second finger on the string and put the next finger on the string. And to have this finger stay on the string, the previous finger on the string will help you a lot. It will stabilize the hand and tell you where you're at. And here the same from E to C. And then the last one is a chromatic scale. I will show it quickly. So it's do like this. And here the difficulty is on the intonation and on the finger movement. First, for the intonation, it's very difficult to air. So here the difficulty is that we have only semitone, 12 times actually. And to air those, it's very important to get some anchor point. So here the notes that are easy to air are the A, for example, later on the E or the G, and those are our reference points. We want to check them, or the open string, and then we know the outer notes are in between, or next to them. That means we want to fix and find those tones first, so the G, A, D, E, and then we'll put all the other notes. For the movement itself, like you can see, it's with the same finger. Here, very important, is to do a quick movement by releasing first the pressure on the string. The biggest mistake I see is that people press too much the string, and because of that, we hear something and it's too slow. So you need to release a little bit the pressure, but not leave the finger, and then move it quickly on the string. So now let's see quickly how you can practice the same in other tonality, because that's really important too. This is, for example, G major, and basically that will be all the same. Okay, you will practice it the same way, it's all quite the same. The biggest difference is the finger pattern that you need to find out. For that thing you really need to ask you, where are my half tone and where are my whole tone? Oh, and by the way, I didn't tell it before, but if you are confused because on my notes there is like H or this, it's because my students are German for the moment. I'm French myself actually, but now we are translating everything in English. So, and here, like you can see, the pattern is different. We have on G on D string this pattern, on A on E string this pattern. But of course, every tonality has its difficulties. So this is, for example, E flat major, and here something very special about it is that all the time on every string the first finger is low, in a low position. And because of that, instead of having the hand in the first position and then putting all finger down in extension, in down extension, what you want to do is just put the whole hand on half position, okay? Because it will be way easier to play. But basically you want to put the hand in half position only if the first finger is low on every single string. If not, it's better to stay in first position and just make a down extension with the first finger, like that. So thanks you for listening.